It's so beautiful on the Big Island. The mountains come right down to the sea, lots of cute shops and great places to eat. Speaking of which, it's about that time and boy am I hungry. Hawaii Romance and Adventure magazine makes it so easy.
Hook him down on murder one, 2 counts.
He's taking me to Hawaii.
Beautiful day, huh?
Uh-huh.
Sharks, they only bite them when you touch their private parts.
Where are you gonna put that under my pillow?
Got a great ass.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Too Critical Podcast. It is episode 44, and it's a good one. We are going to do a remote via Zoom with Rob on vacation in Hawaii. So we take you now, through the magic of television, to the island of Komnowakaheemeyouknowuyouwannalayme. Until we zoom again.
Can you see the paddle borders behind me or no?
Yeah. Rob, how are you? How are things going in Hawaii?
Things are good. I'm sure my wife was thrilled when I said we're going to go to the beach a little later today because I have to do this first. But no, they needed a little night in anyways. The time difference, which people love, time zone talk, has been a struggle for me. Everyone else, for the most part, is caught up, but I've been waking up around 2:30 a.m. and I'm running out of things to watch. So I might have to start a new series. I thought about starting Ozark or Witcher today.
Yeah, I guess start Witcher. Witcher's fantastic.
So that might be what I start tomorrow. But we've been here now. What is it? 1 week tomorrow? Yeah, okay. 1 week tomorrow. And no, it's been good. We were on one side of the island for 5 days, and then we came over to this side. So just hanging out at the beach and drinking all day.
So I got a show that you can start watching. It's on YouTube, but they also have a podcast. And I shit you not, if you go on YouTube, you have to search Cum Town.
Wait, I thought you were being funny. You're serious?
Yes, I'm being totally serious. So these guys, they just riff on like movies and shows and stuff like that, and they just play clips over like what they're talking about. And man, these guys are funny. You gotta check them out. You gotta check them out. It's called
I feel like you're just talking about our podcast.
Well, that's why I guess it sort of clicked. I watched them do what the hell did they did a bunch of movies. Oh Christ, they did a bunch of Steven Seagal movie reviews in a row. Fucking hell, I was pissing myself laughing. These guys were so spot on with all of the fucking Seagal like trash talk. It was so great. They were talking
Under
about
Siege too.
No, they did like after Under Siege, like where he really fatted out, right, and just stopped caring, and but they point out these things that like maybe not a lot of people realize. Like at one point in Steven Seagal's career, he just turned into like a black man from New Orleans, and then they show all these clips of him talking, and it's amazing. They're right. He talks to other people like he's a black man from New Orleans. It's amazing. He's like, oh, come on. What y'all gonna do to me now, huh? Oh, you all think you're gonna get in trouble?
I don't know what color I am, but I know one thing. In the blues, like I said, there was no color, but also I was the only one that wasn't black that I knew that played exactly like them, because I was raised with them. I didn't learn from a record. I play with my fingers.
As Steven Seagal, it's true in all of his
movies. It's almost Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Oh, it's amazing. And then they talk about like one movie that he's in where they fill his special operations team with everybody's over 55 years old, and they keep talking about how Seagal in every scene manages to find a way to sit down. They show him sitting down in all of these in all of the movies that he's in, and I kid you not, they do one scene where It's the end of the movie, and he has a love scene with a girl, and he's fully clothed, including a black leather jacket. Yep, and he never gets up from the love scene, and he never takes his clothes off. It's fantastic. Anyway, I watched like a ton of their videos, and then found out that they have a podcast, and one of the guys on the show does stand up. So I reached out to a couple of them to see if we could do something.
Can I get a time? Yeah. It's called Cum Town.
Cum Town. Yep.
Don't you feel like, I mean, and listen, I'm not shitting on anybody by any means.
Yeah.
But like, if you want to really be successful, don't you feel like someday that name's going to come back to bite you? Like, even if you're really, really good at what you do, and someday some network wants to put you on, and whether it's on a podcast or on screen or on YouTube videos, don't you feel like the first part of that conversation is going to be, we're going to need to rebrand the show?
Possibly. But I mean, like, I'm looking at one video now. It's got 1 million views.
I mean, listen, I think that if they advertise Cum Town on YouTube, they're going to get a lot of hits, but it's not quite going to be their target audience, if you know what I mean.
The first impressions are just a few seconds on their videos, and then people click off. But I highly recommend checking them out. And the guy that...
There's a lot of comments on the YouTube, like, thanks for wasting my time, asshole.
Came here for the name, stayed for the laughs. You know how it is. Yeah, check them out. Very funny. So I reach out to them. Maybe we can get some of those guys on, because they seem like it'll take you 5 minutes to hear the commentary, and then you'll totally understand. Yeah.
The good news is most of the time we come up with a title for an episode pretty quickly. Sometimes something happens in the episode and that sparks it. I mean, This one's simple. The Two Critical Podcast goes to Cum Town. I mean,
the gang goes to Cum Town.
Unbelievable. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about vacation. So Hawaii is often used in a lot of great films and TV shows, and used in a lot of bad TV shows and bad films. I don't think you can mention Hawaii without mentioning Magnum PI. That's hands down gotta be
Hawaii 5-0.
Hawaii 5-0. I mean, obviously, that was the one that started it off. That was a big deal when they did it. It was a unique program because people got to see Hawaii on TV every day. But it seems like CBS specifically has always kept or tried to keep a show in Hawaii, and who could blame them? I mean, what a gig
Honolulu.
that is. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Is there actually one? I was joking about NCIS.
NCIS there's a Hawaiian one now. Sure.
I was joking. I didn't actually know that.
Yep. And Disney Plus has like a Doogie Howser reboot that's down there.
You told me about that.
Yeah, and and I mean, Hawaii is usually good for 2-3 films a year. I mean, we all know The Rock is huge fan.
The big one for me, you say Hawaii in movies, the first thing I think of is Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah, how could we forget? Well, that and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I guess. Both filmed on the same ranch down there. Very cool spots, and those people have done it right. I think it's the Kapui Ranch is where they shot the
Neverland.
Yeah, don't go to Neverland. But those people down there at that ranch, they let them leave like a bunch of stuff from the movie in like buildings and things like that. And as they've continued to shoot down there, they just left them, and now it just becomes part of the tour.
Well, we talked about this with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Oh. They built the house for, where was it, in Canada, right?
Yes, yeah.
They built the house for Ghostbusters Afterlife, filmed the entire movie, and then tore it down.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you leave that as a scenic attraction? I understand.
I have no idea.
I understand in Quebec, or I don't know where it was, Letterkenny, wherever.
In Quebec. Great filming up there in Quebec.
Fuck, I could film all day in Quebec.
Great day to shoot a sequel to a popular franchise film in Quebec.
But I understand they don't have a ton of tourist attraction, like they would in Hawaii and things like that. But I gotta think they'd get a decent amount of business from people coming to hang out where the movie was made. Take pictures.
People would fly from all over the world to go. And like I had mentioned to you a while back, Airbnb that place. You could make it so you could air like they do with the Christmas Story house.
Absolutely.
It's a no-brainer.
Just that alone would have been worth leaving it up. I don't understand why they would tear it down. Now, listen, if it's on the back lot of a movie set, of course, you're not going to leave anything assembled, there. But this is a house out in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere. You could rent that out.
If I were one of the Reitmans, I would say for a year, like let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can get it going for a year. Like I'll pay the taxes on it, or we'll split it with like, you could look. Hindsight is 2020.
Probably, if Aykroyd should have said, "I want to buy the house, leave it here."
I know.
And you Airbnb the place. The fridge is filled with Crystal Skull vodka, whatever the fuck he's pushing.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson should have taken out a loan, right? Ernie Hudson could have bought that place, lived there, and then just traveled like when he wasn't in the house.
Well, and they're already saying they're working on a sequel, and I get that the sequel they probably won't stay at the dirt farm, so they probably don't need the movie for the sequel. But I mean, what if they wanted to have a scene or two? Like, I mean, if during the process, maybe during the initial script writing phase, they don't have the old ranch as part of the movie. But what if they're like shooting and doing something, and Jason Reitman has an idea and goes, "Oh, okay, we can go back real quick and do this." They got to rebuild the fucking thing now, which I understand they have the money and they'll do that.
Right.
But it could have just been standing there. And like you said, they could have made money. Like Airbnb, I'd go there for a weekend if I could rent the house from Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
I've wasted far more money in worse ways.
Right. Look at this.
Yeah.
They could easily build a small structure on the property just to shoot interiors. Like that would not be a large cost for them to do that. The crew's in Canada. The cast was in Canada. Like, to keep it closer to town where everything else, I don't know. It just...
Anyways, sorry, not to sidetrack off of vacations. Well, we tend to do that.
Hawaii. Yeah. Hawaii. Yeah. So, what island are you on?
Maui.
You're on Maui?
Yep. So we were over on Wailea Beach, which is about an hour away, and now we're at Lahaina now. We're going to a beach later today. I'll definitely get some videos. We went there yesterday to do some photos, and the boys and I immediately were like, "We got to go back." The waves were enormous. I'm either going to have the time of my life or die.
The sea was angry that day, my friends.
Oh, the waves were enormous. So where we are now, I mean, there's waves here, and they're frequent, and there's paddleboard. They're probably bigger than it looks on here,
right?
Because that's actually pretty far away. I caught that. But they're not massive here. They're consistent. There's paddleboarders everywhere. A couple of surfers. This other one we went to, I didn't see a lot of surfers because I actually think the waves are too big and rough for most surfers.
Right.
And so, of course, the first thing my sons and I said is like, "Oh, we got to get out there. We got to go through those." So my wife, of course, thinks we're being, reckless and we shouldn't do it. But we're going to go check that out later on today. So I'll bring the GoPro. We'll see. Maybe we can get a video of me,
getting sucked into a riptide.
Ass over tea kettle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if there's a way I can secure the GoPro stick to my arm so that I can't lose it.
That's funny. Just wrap around your neck really tight.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, with a plastic bag around it.
Swim way out so it doesn't get wet. Don't get that GoPro wet.
So other than that, pretty much beach, drink, rinse, repeat.
Beach, booze, beers, broads.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
So we're getting near the end. We're out of here in like 3 more days, I think, something like that. So, and how's it back home? I heard we got some snow.
It's cold. It's like 32, 36 degrees.
How much snow did you end up getting that day? The day after we left?
8 inches. Yeah.
Classic Pimentel.
We're hearing a lot of rumors about the Batman.
Yep.
A lot of noise coming out of the Batman world. All the opinions about it seem to be heavily one-sided, though, saying that it's fantastic.
I did hear a few people that didn't love it, and the majority of negative, I shouldn't say negative, the majority of people that aren't over the top in love with it, the good news is they thought it was good.
Right.
Like one of the guys that I listened to a podcast, My Mom's Basement on Barstool, Clem saw it, and his was one of the worst reviews of it that I've seen, which was it was good. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was good.
Right.
Which if those are the negative reviews, that's usually a good thing. Charlie from Emergency Awesome loved it. He says it's his second favorite Batman movie ever, behind only The Dark Knight. And he says, I've only seen it once. I might put it at number 1 after this.
I think Charlie is in the tank. You know what I mean? I think somebody got to Charlie a while back.
When was the last time you heard him rip anything?
Like back in like the Game of Thrones days, like the last season of Game of Thrones.
But if you love everything, I can't take your opinion seriously.
That's what I mean.
I know, and I love Charlie.
Obviously, someone is aware of how successful his channel is and how many people he reaches. So, they cast the net out there, and they got a guy that they can invite to premieres and stuff like that, and give him screeners. And now he's in the tank. I think
he's a borderline like comic movie influencer.
Yeah,
like he's not a critic anymore. Like they give him all the episodes of the shows in advance. Like I know one of the shows, I think it was Loki, he was talking about one of the future episodes that hadn't aired yet because he was given, some of them get screeners for a couple episodes. I wouldn't be surprised if he's given everything, because these episodes come out and like 2 hours later, he's got his full video with all the Easter eggs, with all the footage. Where's he getting that footage? He's not just clipping it off of the computer, especially not in a matter of minutes. I mean, he's getting this stuff down. He'll talk about a scene and have that exact scene cut and put in there. Yeah. He can't do that in 1 hour.
He's streaming right from his television set into a hard drive and recording that stuff, but he's doing that live.
And for the record, I'm not shitting on him either. Like,
oh yeah, no, when he was objective, he was very objective, and he had his theories are amazing. He knows everything about everything, and all the Easter eggs and the references, and he's amazing.
I still think he's the best recap person in the business.
Yeah,
maybe not opinions, but just here's what happened, here's what you missed. If you didn't realize that this person, this was their motive, he's so good at filling in the little gray areas where there's a few of them. I think like Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think there was a couple episodes where I was like, what? I don't really, I understood what happened, but there was like little things. You watch his video, immediately, all right, here's what happened, start to finish.
Right.
He doesn't miss anything.
No, he like freeze frames little things. And you see like a blurry little thing hanging on the wall in the background, and then tells you, what it's all about. And no, he's good. I just you don't know what to believe anymore.
He did say that Pattinson has probably the least amount of dialogue for any Batman in any Batman movie, which is funny because the movie is the longest Batman movie ever made. Wow. So
yeah, that's another thing. I heard a lot of people like it's a lot of rain. It's a lot of long tracking shots. It's very self-indulgent.
What are we watching? Zach Braff's Garden State?
But it's like Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I did hear a lot of people say, obviously there's a lot of kind of like detective Batman in this one.
Yeah.
And it's more of a detective noir than it is like an action movie.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. I don't know that I would want them to always do them that way. I love that the movie, from what I heard, starts off in year 2 of him being Batman.
Right.
There's no origin story. I think they make some references, but
yeah, we're done. We get it. His parents died. He's Batman. Let's get after it.
Spider-Man Homecoming showed everyone how to do this. If you have a character that they've already made several movies about, just get into it. Get right into it. You can do origin stories for Catwoman. You can do it for Penguin. You can do it for other characters, for the Riddler. We know who Batman is. We understand Alfred's his butler. The two of them designed things together. Alfred's his sidekick. His parents died. We get it.
Yep.
I thought when I heard that that's not a part of the movie, I was very happy. Apparently there's like the original cut of the movie was 4 hours. So this comes in right at 3 hours, according to Charlie. And he did say that, there's a lot of Detective Batman. There's not a lot of dialogue. They talked about his Bruce Wayne in his Batman persona. He does do a little bit of a voice change. There's no electric voice like Affleck had a modulator in the suit. Yeah. He doesn't do that, and he doesn't do the extreme that Bale does. Apparently, it's kind of in between, like not quite talking as his normal voice, but not quite also going the Christian Bale route with it. So it's curious to me that Matt Reeves keeps saying he has no interest in introducing Superman. This is not meant to be part of some bigger universe. No, ultimately, two things. He doesn't have that say. He can do that for his movie. Yeah. He can do that for his movies.
Warner Brothers will get someone who will want to do it.
Will do it. And by the way, they're going to go to him and go, hey, no, I think they'll let him make one or two of these like this. They're not going to let him make 5 Batman movies with Pattinson if they're all successful and go, okay, we're never going to further it. They're not going to do that. With what they're doing in the Flash movie, bringing Keaton and Affleck and everyone in, I don't see any way that someday it won't progress. I would rather see them start this universe over and recast Superman and bring everyone in and do what Marvel did and slow play it and make it really good. One thing, not to sidetrack, still talking Batman here. I've heard zero about this. I would put the percentage chance at 0.1. In the Flash movie, I haven't heard a single rumor about it. All these other Batman. Is there any chance at all Christian Bale's involved as a Batman?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
But why not? They own the property, right? They could.
I mean, so he would have to get paid if they use.
That's how acting works usually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at some dummies that will just show up because you asked them, right?
I'm just saying with Spider-Man, Garfield and Holland showed up as well as the villains. Is there any chance? Maybe it's not Christian Bale. Is there any chance there's some reference to something from the Nolan universe? Scarecrow, someone.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing about that.
I don't know. I think he's off limits. Christian Bale. But I don't think they even consider it.
They don't want to acknowledge that it exists in that universe.
I just think he doesn't want to have anything to do with them, so they don't even try to pursue it.
Yeah. I mean, he's moved over to Marvel, but I mean, James Gunn has proven you can do both. He just finished Peacemaker. He's making Guardians, and then he's going right back to make Peacemaker too.
Right. No, that guy, he's a mechanic. Put the tools in the toolbox. He'll do the job. I thought a weird choice for Pattinson, speaking of his voice, is that when he went in for the initial read, in the costume and stuff like that, he did it all as Trump. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah, he did several scenes from the movie in Donald Trump's voice.
I don't believe you.
Really?
No.
And this is the part where you launch into Batman lines as Donald Trump.
I don't even know if I could do that. You do a better Trump than me anyway. Go ahead, just
all right.
You'd never give it to an ordinary citizen.
Everybody get out. It's time to go. The party's over. Get out, all of you sycophantic phonies. Don't even know what sycophantic means. But my mommy and daddy are dead, and I want you to get out of my house because the party's over, okay? Alfred, take all the champagne, okay, and leave it here. How many cases does that lady want? 6? Yeah, 6 is good. I'll open up 6. That's a reference from Batman 1989. When they asked how many cases of champagne he should open, he said 6. So he opened up 6.
We're making the Justice League.
We're making the Justice League.
I've got a Dunkin' Donuts in my cave, bro.
It's the greatest Dunkin' Donuts in all of the caves anywhere in the world. I promise you, it's the best cave.
Even Starbucks says it.
Starbucks doesn't even know. They don't even know what's coming for them, okay? They tried to make a Starbucks underwater and cater it to fish people. Fish people drinking coffee. You kidding me? This is insane. Fish don't drink coffee, at least not the ones that I associate with. Okay? Come to DC. Come to wherever the fuck Batman lives, Bruce Wayne's house. Oops. Spoiler alert. And have a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's fantastic.
I thought it would have been great. That would have been a bold decision. Trump as Batman.
I mean, I think he still would have got the role for sure.
He could have. If I see another image of Zoe Kravitz with that face on, like she's been out in the sun too long, doesn't she look like a brat that like someone just took her Nintendo Game Boy away, sitting in the back seat in a long car ride? That's every photo of her. Am I right?
He did say, Charlie said that Zoe Kravitz is his second favorite Catwoman behind only Pfeiffer. He did say that Pattinson was really good as Batman. He also said he likes the young Alfred. So I don't know. We'll see.
You got to go young Alfred. And you got to have a guy that actually contributes to one of my favorite Batman comics. It's the very first page. The Batmobile comes screaming into the Batcave, and it's all fucked up. Like parts are missing. It's partially on fire, and like the canopy, like gets blown off like it's an emergency. And Batman like crawls out, and he's just as fucked up as the car is. He's bleeding. His suit's all torn up, and he crawls over onto like a medical table. And his like hand hits like a buzzer, and like Alfred comes flying down to the Batcave. And the next 3 pages is about Alfred keeping him alive. And even when I read that as a kid, I'm like, this is the best way to open a Batman movie. Why would you open a Batman movie like this? And he goes into like, this guy is like a combat surgeon working all by himself, right? And puts them together, and then the next few days is like him just like, recuperating and all that stuff. I love that stuff. But it was hard to do it with Michael Goff. No, Michael Goff, the guy from the 1989. Like that guy was like 70 when they started that movie. He had very little to bring to the party, And
then when he got McGregor's disease, it was all downhill.
McGregor's disease. But I mean, there are a lot of comic book, even the animated series, when Alfred would step in and he would wear the Batsuit, and he was a decoy or a body double for people. But you can't have a guy that's 96 stepping into the Batman role. You know what I mean?
Why? Have you seen The Irishman?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. So those guys from Cum Town, they do a whole bit on The Irishman. It's so great.
I can't take you seriously when you start with the guys.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Great. It's a great view. Great view. Oh God, it was so damn funny. The stuff that they made fun of was so great. About them just being old men and the bad CGI. Very funny.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We gotta wrap this up fairly soon.
Yeah, great. Let's keep it short anyway. That's a smart move. So so when you come back, we're going to see the Batman.
Yeah, we're seeing the Batman in 4 days. So
great. And then
you and Gallagher.
Yeah, we'll do a review after that.
Yeah.
And let everybody know whether or not they should see it. You also saw the post about it underperforming at the box office already.
Spider-Man has showed that you don't have that excuse.
But Warner Brothers came out and they said, here are the predictions. They think it could be on track to make like 80 million. That's globally, which is horrible. But they made the COVID excuse, and there's no way. You can't make the COVID excuse.
And the dumbest thing they did was talking openly for weeks leading up to the movie about how Matt Reeves will never introduce Superman, and he's not part of the... Like, that's all well and good. Why would you discuss it? Why would you say to people, hey, we got this movie coming out. If you're really excited for it and think it might be part of something bigger, just want to let you know it's not. We just want to let you know it's not.
I'll do you one better. They should have just saved all those questions to ask them in person, like while they were doing like press, like the week of like when they opened in the States. Like get the whole cast up there.
Why is Gamora?
What God do you serve?
What am I supposed to say? Jesus?
Okay, don't say plucky, all right? Because we don't know what it means. Your math
get
is
the whole cast up
blowing my mind right now. Get the whole cast in person and then ask them those questions. Like, why would you just like trickle them out through like various sources? Like put a camera and microphone in front of Matt Reeves, and then get him to answer those hard questions. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
All right, get back to your beach.
Yeah, I gotta get back to vacation here, but we'll have something out next week about the Batman, I'm sure. We'll definitely post some videos Sunday when we see it too.
Hey, take care of your OHANA, as The Rock says, and stay away from tiki idols in case you went to that big surf competition. Those are 2 Hawaiian references from television.
Yeah, we meant to get into more of those, but we got sidetracked with the Batman. It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So hang 10, brah, and enjoy the rest of your trip.
All right, aloha. Mahalo.
Aloha. Wait, you saying hello or goodbye? Because we have to end the show. Is it?
Yes.
What?
I'm being obtuse.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
Did you see the sunrise this morning?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 44 of the Too Critical Podcast. A quick hit with Rob on vacation in Hawaii. We talked about the Batman and some other nonsense, and that is that. So we will see you again. Please check us out on our YouTube channel. You can search for the Too Critical Podcast. Also check us out on Instagram at Too Critical Podcast. And listen to us wherever podcasts are sold. Go to your local podcast store and demand that they carry the Too Critical Podcasts. And that is that. We will see you again. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Ra-da-da-da-doo.